Hello, welcome to the Black Rabbit. My name is Fotis, and in my channel, I explore the occult and I bridge it with psychology. I like to intertwine the occult practices and the occult sciences with psychology, especially Jungian psychology. And so today I'm gonna talk about uh, a concept which is kind of complicated and simple at the same time, which is authenticity. Now, what is authenticity? How is it expressed? And how it is found? These are, I think, the three key ways, the three key questions that I'm gonna ask in order to go about explaining this topic. So let's first start with what is authenticity. Authenticity is, first of all, being true to your core self, being true to who you are, being absolutely true to your feelings and what you want to express, being true in your opinions and thoughts and belief systems and your values, being true to your self and to your soul expression. And authenticity is something that is found in both our masculine aspect and in our feminine aspect as well. And it is also found in the middle of our light and our darkness, our more so masculine and the more so feminine. When these two marry each other inside ourselves, that's where we find the harmony and our true self and the love of expressing our totality. Now, inauthenticity comes when these two parts are, instead of being intertwined and being authentically supporting one another, so the masculine supporting the feminine and the feminine supporting the masculine, there is gonna be, when there is imbalance in this energy within the individual, there is gonna be inauthenticity. And in order to learn how to be authentic, you first have to learn what it's like to be authentic. And this isn't something that you learn from growing in the society where you are the small child that likes to express itself fully, and you don't really know yet what's wrong or what's right, and you're just curious, you're emotional, you are imaginative, you express all of your parts without really questioning what is right or wrong. But going down the process of uh, becoming older, you will be introduced to certain activities, into certain belief systems, and into certain mental type of programming that's gonna separate your mind and your active force from your soul and from your core. And so the matrix, or otherwise called the society, is designed to create an inner chaos and an inner duality between these two things. So when you're thinking of right or wrong, if you would ask the average person, uh, would you want to be right or would you want to be wrong? Most of them are going to say, I wanted to be right. I want to be a right and a righteous individual. I want to be on the good side always. I want to be a good man. And nobody really accepts that they can be a bad man as well, or a bad woman, or a bad child, or they can be in the wrong side as well. So when you get born and when you are this little child, where these two essence, these two powers within you, these two serpents, these two energies are connected, when you're growing within a society and when you're getting programmed to think in a dualistic way of right or wrong, and there are so many ways that this is happening. It's happening through politics, left or right. It happens through sports. I am this team versus the other team. It's happening through right or wrong. It's happening through the government. It's happening through religion. You should be a good person and you should not face your demons. So everything is designed to take and split these two aspects of yourself. And within these two aspects of yourself are not in connection and they are not intertwined and married with one each other. In the center, it all creates chaos. So when these two start working and merging with each other, that's where there is harmony within the system, and there is harmony in your life as well. You are fulfilled and you feel the love for yourself and for others in a very authentic way. And now you're embracing your truth, because your truth is more so on the feminine side, and the vessel for you to express that is the masculine protector, which is gonna go out there and create a life that you desired based on your truth and your core. So when these two splits together, it creates an inner chaos and an internal imbalance, which is something that is inevitable and it's part of the human experience, and it's not something that we should blame others about it. It's literally a gift given to us, this type of separation, in order for us to learn how to remerge these two aspects together, in order to us to learn how to do this inner work and this work with ourselves and learn how to merge them together. All right? So, with that being said, how do we find authenticity? How do we find our truth, which is more so in our feminine aspect? So, our truth, our core, and our feminine aspect is the part of us that we could name it as a core, our core, the core being of the self. So, what's the core being of the self? In a spiritual essence, it's the soul, and the soul is your own individual signature, is your own individual expression that carries you and feeds it's your desires, it's your dreams, your own dreams, like your own personal dreams. I'm not talking about becoming a lawyer. Someone has I asked this kid the other day, what's your dream? My dream is to become a lawyer and to work in international politics. Now, I'm not gonna say that maybe that's not his dream, but I think that as a soul, your dream could be something more powerful than that. Maybe becoming an international lawyer would be something that is not really their dream, is the dream that was implanted within them by external factors and external people, such as society, probably, or mother, or parents, or father. And so your own individual and unique dream lies within the core. It exists within your core being. And in order to reach this core being with ourselves, there needs to happen and there needs to be done a lot amount of um, setting illusions and challenging ourselves to find the truth within us. And so the way to find your core self is to literally dive down into your own subconscious, is to dive down into your own personal patterns and the things and your behaviors. Your behaviors are manifestations of these subconscious patterns. And so in order to find the root, which is the core, the root is represented in our being as humans as the subconscious and the unconscious mind. So in order to reach that, we are working with suppressed aspects of ourselves, with suppressed emotions, with suppressed uh, desires, and that we have suppressed in order to fit in the society, in order to fit in somebody else's dream and to receive love. To receive love, because otherwise, if you were to express that aspect of yourself, you would feel like you won't receive the love that you're getting when you are on your inauthentic state. And so many people are actually do and perform all these behaviors of inauthenticity in order to find love, in order to find love through being somebody successful in the society, in order to find love to be somebody that their parents are going to accept them, in order to find love from their neighbor, in order to find love from the people around them. They essentially never get this love from inside, from their soul, because your soul loves you. And the thing is, we have suppressed our soul for so long that we don't even have a touch now with it. We are out of touch with our core as human beings. The mass collective is out of touch with our soul, and that's why there is so much confusion, and that's why there is so much hate, and there is so much, let's say, inauthenticity, because we're trying to mask and we're trying to put all these protective layers onto our soul in order for the people not to see it for what it is, because we feel like we're not going to get accepted, and in order for us to not be able to like accept it for what it is and love it with the most powerful way that it that it well, that we could. And so what are these masculine protector parts? Now, the masculine protector parts are all the belief systems that we have, that and all these behaviors that we have in order to defend our ego and our inauthenticity from being hurt. The ego is so sure that you are this person right now that if somebody comes and challenges, you have to fight them. But the thing is, through challenge, you get in a state of humility, in a state of ego death, in a state of shedding the layers and finding the core. It's just like an onion. In order to go into the center of the onion, we need to set the layers and the layers and the layers to find the core. Think as the core as your soul, like the seed is the core, it's your soul, and all these layers is what our masks are. So we have so many masks for people, we have so many masks for the people around us, because we think that if we express like our naked truth, which is inside the onion, which is our soul, it's gonna be hurted. And we done it in the past and somebody told us it was wrong, so we started developing layers and layers and layers in order to protect our soul, and we got lost in that. We identify mostly with the layers outside of ourselves rather than the core within it. And so in order to find the core, we need to understand the reasons why we have these layers. So behind each layer, there is also a trauma. There is a behavior, there is a circumstance, there was an event that happened in our lives that told us that this part of ourselves is wrong. So in order to fit in and to be societally acceptable by other people, we developed this masculine. We developed this mask in order to be able to fit in. And so this mask is what. All right, so my phone died and I had to delete things from the past in order for something new to be able to fit into my phone. Very representative of what I'm talking about. So when you delete and when these aspects or like these protector parts die, some things that you have right now that are connected with the current of this specific masculine part that you have, when you do the work and you realize that you need to drop this protector part that you have in order to process the vulnerability, you will realize that this thing that you were doing is no longer serving you, and in your outside reality it's gonna manifest in some people just walking away from your life, which makes space for new people to come into your life, which is absolutely fantastic, and it's a blessing as well, because many people are stuck in this loop for their whole life. They have the same habits, the same friends, the same things, and they are attaching so much to these protector parts, and they never get the experience of what it feels like to step into a new part of yourself that now it's more authentic to who you are, more aligned, I would say, and you are you leave these people behind and wonderful new people come in that are aligning with who you are now, and with your more aligned self, and these people are going to be true. They're not going to be matching your protector part that you had to portray to other people, if that makes sense. So how do we find our authenticity? It requires deep shadow work. And if I was to connect it back to the occult in some way or another, I would say that magical practice, invocation of certain entities can boost this process to happen, because it's gonna make you realize that some of these protector parts that you are holding on to are not really worth having anymore in your life. And the demons that people are say they are bad, they will take away these inauthentic parts that you have in order to leave you space for your true authentic self to step in. So the reason why the Matrix demonizes, when I say demonizes, like demon comes from demon, which is smart in Greek. It's nothing more than that. Demon is the inner genius. It's a genius. It's an intelligence. It's the inner intelligence of the soul. Demon. Demonas αυτός. It's the demonic self. Daemon. It's the daemon, the higher self, the intelligent self. It's the advanced self. And so when they are demonizing the demons, essentially what they are doing is like they're trying, the matrix, the way it's structured, as I said in the beginning, its responsibility is to split this part from you in order to give you, this is the gift that the matrix gives you, and then you have to reclaim this and remerge this again. So a demonic entity, a kind of an entity that is more so on the negative side of evolution, will take away these authentic parts in order to make you live, in order to leave you be with your more so authentic self. All right, it's not a holy word, this monstrous freak that will come and bite you and kick your ass in some way. They kick your ass by kicking up the ass of the ego, the parts of us that want to attach to things, and they just take them away. And they're like, yeah, did you really need that part of yourself? Like, did you really need that part of yourself? Because like there are gonna be people that are gonna be attaching so hard to these aspects, and if you ask them about demons, they're gonna be like, oh hell no, I'm not working with demons. Why? It's not because only involved because of indoctrination and religious programming, and it's also about the soul knows deep down, the authentic self and the core knows deep down that if you embrace the demonic, all these attachments and all these uh, protector parts is just gonna shatter down, and you're gonna be naked to your own truth. So that's the power of the demonic. And so that's the relation back to the occult. Now, to answer the third question, how do we embrace our authenticity? Because we are talking about the authentic, the protector parts, the masculine parts as being something bad. Well, I'm gonna say that when you go deep down to your feminine essence, which is your truth, the way that it's going to be expressed to the world, the way you're going to be acting to your purpose, is going to happen through the masculine essence. And the masculine essence pushes forward like a protector, like having a shield, pushes forward in order to let the feminine to express itself in a healthy way. So the masculine is not something that is bad. It pushes and makes space. It makes space and protection for the feminine to exist in harmony. So a healthy masculine, instead of killing its own woman, its own feminine aspect, by saying that, no, I'm not gonna let you come up on the surface and talk to me. I'm not gonna let you be vulnerable. I am only this very tough man, and essentially they're hiding behind the vulnerability. And this is what you can call it toxic masculinity. I would say this is unintegrated masculinity. An integrated masculine is an energy that is a king, a warrior, and lover, and a magician. All right, I'm gonna go in depth in another video about that. So an integrated masculine makes space for the feminine to be vulnerable. An unintegrated masculine and an inauthentic masculine essence smacks the feminine in the face. And when I say smacks, it doesn't let her express their truth. And he attaches a lot on his ego. A healthy male, like a male, when I say a male, a man, a healthy man is somebody that can push forward for his goals, but from a state of his core, from a state of being also connected with a masculine, with a feminine essence, which is the soul and the true core. So the spirit is the go-getter, the more so it's the spirit and the soul, the masculine and the feminine, and the spirit makes space for the soul to come up and express itself. So there is power in both, and we are not only finding healthy authenticity to the core only. The masculine needs to create a safe space by placing boundaries, by being a king, by being a warrior. Yes, you can do that, and a woman also can do that. I'm not talking about the man or the woman like differently. Both of us, both of the genders have the masculine and the feminine energy. But me as a man, I'm talking it from more so from a man perspective, where the masculine essence is kind of more dominant in us, and the feminine essence is more dominant in women. And so the masculine essence in us makes space and makes space for our own vulnerability as men to be and exist. And so expressing authenticity is just letting your core, and it's acting from a state of the core. It's not acting from the state of only the ego. And in order to find authenticity, you need to embrace the totality of the self. Now, with that being said, I have done a video in the past that explains in depth the Jung's model of the psyche, which the Jung's model of the psyche, it's a model that I have it somewhere here on my whiteboard, but anyways, you can go watch the video. I'm gonna leave it up here. And so in this model, the model of the psyche, it's like the self is in the middle, and here is how we express ourselves to the world, and here is our own individual subconscious and unconscious mind, as well as the collective unconscious, which is something deeper that I'm gonna go in another video to dive into that, because I think it's a very important thing to understand. So in order to express the authenticity, you have to express it from a state of the core being. And that doesn't mean that when you choose to be vulnerable, you are vulnerable. When you choose to be a warrior and a fighter, you should be capable to do so. And this is embracing the totality. Because I've seen some people that kind of confuse like the core state, and they don't like to embrace their masculine essence. They're more so very, very feminine, and they are making up, let's say, I would say, they're making up all these ideologies that the masculine is the inauthentic part, and I'm gonna say that the masculine is not an inauthentic part. You should be able to express your masculine essence and be a warrior and a king, as well as being a lover and a magician. It's the four four elements of the masculine, of the man actually, not of the masculine, of the man. And so that's basically it. This is what I would like to say for this video. I hope it gave value. If I said something that was not understood, feel free to leave a comment down below, because I'm also practicing the way that I appear on the camera, and I also practice the way that I talk about things, because English is not my native language. I'm Greek, and sometimes something that I would say in Greek doesn't really come out the way that I would like to say it, and I go back and watch the video, and I was like, here I could say much more, many things. And so if there is a question or if there is a feedback that you would like to give me, feel free to do that. I am very receptive to any type of feedback. And so yeah, that's it. Thank you very much. More content is coming up, so like and subscribe, and see you on the next one. Peace.